Hello, Year 3. For Science today, we're going to do Unit 4 revision, Flowering Plants. Please make sure you have your pupils book and your activity book ready. And let's open up to page number 86, and we're going to do Section A, What are the parts of a plant? What are the main parts of a plant? We have the flower, stem, roots, and leaves. What are the functions of the parts of the plant? What do they do? First of all, we have the flower. The flower helps the plant reproduce. Flowers attract animals and insects. This is to help the plants reproduce or make new plants. Next, we have the stem. What does it do? For support and transport. The stem helps support the plant and keeps it upright. Water and food are transported through the stem. What about the roots? They're there to take in and hold. The roots of a plant holds the plant in the ground. Roots take in nutrients and water from the soil. And the leaves? To make food. The leaves absorb sunlight and CO2 to make food for the plant. How does a plant grow? First, the seed goes in the pot or ground. Sometimes the seed needs to be covered with soil or compost. When we grew our lentil seeds, we used some cotton wool as the ground. The seed needs to be watered and be warm. Then the seed begins to sprout and grow. With the right amount of water, sunlight, and warmth, the plant continues to grow. The plant continues to grow bigger, and on some plants, flowers appear. On some flowering plants, fruit or vegetables begin to grow. For a plant to be healthy, its leaves, stem, and roots need to be healthy to work all together. Sometimes fungi and bacteria can be harmful to plants. They can damage parts of the plant, which means that that part is unable to carry out its function properly. Imagine if the plant roots were full of unhealthy growths caused by bacteria. The plant wouldn't get enough water and minerals from the roots. And imagine if the leaves were being consumed by fungus. The plant wouldn't get enough food. If any part of the plant is unhealthy, then it will not grow well. So to live well and grow well, plants need healthy roots, stems, and leaves. Let's do the exercises on page number 96 and 97. Exercise 1. Complete the table with the plant part to match the function. Now we have the plant parts, which are flower, stem, roots, and leaves. Now, why don't we circle the important words here? Number 1, well, the first line, it makes food for the plant. Second line, it takes in water and mineral salts from the soil. Third line, it transports water and mineral salts from the roots to the rest of the plant. And the fourth line, it helps the plant reproduce. Exercise 2, who is correct? Are Cindy, Ahmed, and Putri right? Explain your answer. Cindy says, plants take in food through their roots. Ahmed says, mineral salts in the soil are plant food. And Putri says, plants make their own food. Let's circle who is correct and then explain why they're correct. Question 3. These tomato leaves have many spots as they have been attacked by a fungus, horrible, horrible fungus. If there are too many of these spots, the leaves will turn yellow and die. Now the question is at the bottom of the picture, how will this affect the growth of the tomato plant? I want you to tell me how it's going to affect the growth. So can you now pause the video and complete all the exercises and come back for the answers? Thank you. Here are the answers for number 1. The leaves make food for the plant. The roots take in the water and the minerals. The stem transports the water and the minerals up and down the stem to the rest of the plants. And The flower helps the plant reproduce or make new little copies of itself. So, who's correct? Cindy says plants take in food through their roots. No, this is not correct. What do they take in through the roots? They take in water and minerals. Ahmed says mineral salts in the soil are plant food. Do plants need food or do they make it by themselves? Putri, I think, is correct. Plants make their own food using their leaves. And question 3, how will this affect the growth of the tomato plant? Well, the leaves would not be able to make food for the plant. The plant will not be able to grow well and could die. Let's move on to section B. Do plants need light and water? On page number 98. Here we have 2 experiments on do plants need light and water. Now the girl's at the top. The one on the left, she says, my seedlings are growing well. And the one on the right says, my seedlings are yellow and dying. But look, the yellow ones are so tall. Why are they so much taller than the first ones? The boy's at the bottom. The boy on the left, he says, my plants are growing well. And the boy on the right says, my plants are not growing well. His plants look like they're all wilted. Let's have a look at these experiments and discuss some more. For the do plants need light experiment, both sets of seedlings started off the same, but the ones on the left without light have gone yellow and they've grown really tall and thin very, very quickly. The ones with light have grown well. Now the question is, why are the ones on the left so tall? The thing is, when the plants are kept in the dark, they grow very, very fast and move a lot searching for the light. So they're trying to get higher and higher to get closer to the light, but they're not strong. They're very weak and flimsy. And also you can see that their leaves have gone yellow because they didn't get enough sunlight to make food. The ones on the right, they're shorter, but they're stronger and healthier. So this is why plants need light, to make sure we have nice, strong, healthy plants that grow well. For the do plants need water experiment, here we can see the plant when it's nice and healthy. After time, it starts to wilt. We haven't given it any water, so we can watch it wilt, and it goes down and down and down. And then finally, the plant is dead. There's no bringing it back with some water. Maybe in the previous parts where it was wilting, we could have revived it with some water, but now the plant is completely dead. So, do plants need water? Yes, they do. They need them to keep strong and stay growing. Let's now do the exercises on page 100. Here's the first exercise on page 100. Number 1, suggest why the sunflower is wilting. What can be done to make it grow well? And question 2, suggest why grass does not grow well under the shade of the tree. So, can you please complete the exercises and come back? Here are the answers. The sunflower is wilting because it doesn't have enough water. And the second part of the question, what can be done to make it grow well? It can be watered to make it grow well again. Exercise 2. Why does the grass not grow well? Because the grass doesn't get enough sunlight to make its own food. That's why it's not growing well. Now for section C on page 101. Does temperature affect how plants grow? Here we have a picture of plants in a rainforest. Now, does temperature affect how plants grow? Yes, it does. Plants grow really well in the rainforest because the temperature is warm. Also, additional to this, there's lots of sunlight and water available in rainforests. So they're very, very happy plants. What about here in the desert? Can we see lots of plants like in the rainforest? No, because it's very, very hot. Plants lose or expire too much water when it's very hot, so they will wilt and die easily. But Some desert plants can grow if they can find groundwater, so water coming from underneath the ground. And then they're little happy plants. They will grow. So we can see here is a little oasis because they've found some groundwater. What's wrong with this tree? Is it dead? Actually, no, it's not. It's just sleeping. If the weather is cold, some plants lose their leaves and go dormant. They're still alive, but they're using less energy to grow. But if it's too cold, plants can die or seeds will not start to germinate and plants will not start to grow. Like on this mountaintop where there's always snow. You won't see any plants here. So, what is the solution to growing plants if the weather is too hot or too cold where you are? Greenhouses. Greenhouses are used to make the temperature stable, which means we can choose which temperature we want and keep it at that temperature. So it is easy to grow plants. You can see here these strawberries are growing in winter time. They're looking nice and ripe. And also we can even grow in snowy conditions because we can heat the greenhouses. Now, as scientists, how can we conduct a fair test? To conduct a fair scientific experiment, we need to keep all things the same except the thing that you're testing for. There are a list of things we can control when we're testing plant growth. We can control the number of seeds, we can control the pot size, the plant size, we can give the plants the same amount of water, the same amount of sunlight, and we can use the same temperature where the plant is located. If we're going to test to see if plants need water, we need to remove one of the controls. We remove giving the plants the same amount of water, and we change the amount of water one plant gets. If we're going to test for if plants need sunlight or light, we then remove sunlight from one of the plants, so we have to change the amount of sunlight one plant gets. And then if we're testing if temperature affects plants, we have to make sure that we change the temperature for one plant. What does a plant need to grow then? Let's review. For a seed to germinate and a plant to grow, a plant has to be cared for properly. Now, have you grown your lentil seeds we sent home? Was it easy or difficult to grow them? So we know plants need water to grow, plants need sunlight to grow, and plants need warm temperatures to grow. Let's do the exercises on page 103. Here are the last exercises in the pupils book. Now the question is, will plants grow well in these places and why? So I need a two-part answer. Will plants grow well in these places? Yes or no? Because. And give me a reason, please, for why. Here are the answers. Will plants grow well in these places and why? For the greenhouse, we can say yes, because it can be kept warm inside, or we can say yes, because we can control the temperature and keep it warm. And then for B, the mountaintop, no, because the temperature is too cold. Now let's get our activity books and open up to page 54 for the review. Here we have activity book page 54. Again, we're going to be filling in the blanks using the helping words in the blue box, the vocabulary words. And again, we have a lot of different boxes to fill in. So first of all, let's go on to the vocabulary words. We have absorb, leaves, sunlight, flowers, water, food, healthy, roots, transport, temperature, light, and stems. Let's start with the first box. Flowering plants need leaves, stems, and roots working together to grow well. Now, how should the leaves, stems, and roots be? This is your clue. And then moving on to the second box. What do they need? They need three different things. And if we remember back, the hint is we can test for these things. So they need to make food, to make food and keep firm. And they need that is not too high or too low to grow well. Now let's do what flowering plants have, the bottom section. We're going to start with the second one because this is the most complete one. So this is the easiest one. So flowering plants have that help the plants reproduce. Next, let's move on to the fourth one because I think that one's the next easiest one. Flowering plants have that hold the plants firmly to the ground, and water and dissolved mineral salts from the soil. So those are our keywords. Which part has the keywords holding the plant to the ground and from the soil? So which part do you think goes in the soil? Next, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the third one. Now, flowering plants have that's something, water and mineral salts, and hold the leaves up to get So, it's something to do with water and mineral salts and holding the leaves up. And the last one, let's go to the first section. Flowering plants have that make for the plants. Oh, this one is actually kind of easy. Which part of the plant makes something? So let's pause and come back for the answers. Here are the answers. Please self-check. That's all for today, Year 3. Thank you for coming. See you next time.